Hello, and welcome to Burning Issues, the only program that provides you with a regular glimpse inside the Wichita Fire Department. I'm Deputy Chief Tammy Snow. During this episode, you'll meet a fire lieutenant who was recently honored for his arson investigation skills. We'll also tell you about one of the leading causes of house fires and how you can avoid becoming a victim. First, I'd like to introduce Lt Kelly Zane. Congratulations, Kelly, on your recent selection as the 2011 Investigator of the Year for the Kansas chapter of the International Association of Arson Investigators. Could you tell us what actions brought you this honor?
There are a couple of things, Chief, that came about this year that took place. The first thing is our unit was recognized for 28 arrests for arson fires. And my partner and I, in association with the rest of our unit and the Fire Marshal Brad Crisp, I was accountable for 16 of those arrests.
All right, Lieutenant Zane, I also understand that part of your nomination to receive this award was your work in the Delano District.
Yes, Chief. We had a serial arsonist work in the Delano District. He was guilty of doing somewhere between 9 and 14 fires. These fires were dumpster fires. They were up against buildings, and some of these buildings were actually occupied at the time of the fires. The night he was caught and arrested, we had him for 9 fires that night and up to 14. And he was also wanted, or a suspect, in several fires in Salina. So, and we actually caught him, and we got a serial arsonist off the street.
Or how difficult was it for your investigation team, for yourself and your investigation team, to actually solve this case?
That's a good question, Chief. Something like this happens over a period of time. The fires just didn't happen on my shift. They actually happened on several shifts. And it was definitely a group effort between our unit and the Wichita Police Department to solve this crime.
Lieutenant Zane, could you tell us how the Wichita Fire Department Fire Investigation Unit compares to other fire investigation units throughout the nation?
Sure, Chief. I think our unit stacks up very well nationwide. The national median for arson arrest was about 25% last year in 2011. Our average for the Wichita Fire Department Fire Investigations Group, our unit, we averaged 37%. So I think our guys do a great job. They're very dedicated and loyal officers.
Tell me a little bit more about yourself and your history with the Wichita Fire Department and what made you become a fire investigator.
In 1992, Chief, I joined the Wichita Fire Department. I was a fireman for 14 years. I joined the hazmat team, or the hazardous materials team. I was a hazmat tech for 9 years. I joined the arson investigation unit in 2006, and I'm currently holding that position. In 2011, I was promoted to lieutenant in fire investigations.
Remind me again why you got into fire investigation?
When I first got into the Wichita Fire Department, it was something I was always interested in. I didn't know getting into it that I had to be a firefighter for so long before I could get into investigations. I really enjoyed fighting fire. It was a dream come true. But after I had some time on the job, I felt like it was my time to pursue my dream as a fire investigator. And about 14 to 15 years on the job is when I decided to make that move.
Well, once again, I'd like to congratulate you for this honor that you've received. You join an elite group of fire investigators. In 1987, Chief Bricknell received the award. In 1999, Lieutenant Kent Greer received the award. In 2005, Chief Brad Crisp. And in 2008, Captain Stuart Bevis and Lieutenant Joe Evans also received the award. So 4 out of the 8 current arson investigators have received this award, and this speaks volumes for the caliber of the fire investigation unit. And once again, congratulations for your service, and thank you for making the streets of Wichita safe.
Thank you, Chief.
Now we'd like to take a moment to talk to you about one of the leading causes of house fires, and that is cooking fires. Joining me are 2 members of the Wichita Fire Department that are from the east side of Wichita, Lieutenant Lance Diffenbaugh and firefighter Jason Ayala. Lance, could you tell us a little bit about your history with the Wichita Fire Department?
I've been with the Wichita Fire Department for 21 years. I started in 1990, basically right out of high school. I'm still a student of the profession. I'm a member of the Heavy Rescue Team, and I'm currently assigned as a lieutenant at Station 9 on the east side in the heart of the city as a truck member.
Jason, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and also about your history with the Wichita Fire Department?
Yes, Chief. I've been on the Wichita Fire Department for a little over 12 years. I was first stationed at Station 11, George Washington Boulevard in Skinner. Now I'm at Station 9. I've been there for 11 years. I'm currently an acting lieutenant, and I am on the truck company and engine company.
Both of you mentioned that you were members of the truck company. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, the Wichita Fire Department has 4 truck companies at this time, and basically what we do is when we come to the scene and we find that it's a working fire, someone immediately goes to the roof and assesses it to see if we need to open the roof up to get the smoke and the heat out so the engine companies can do attack and search and rescue more proficiently.
The officer on the truck company is basically the person that takes care of all of the assignments for the truck company crew. Lance, he's my lieutenant, and if I'm his driver, I generally will set the ladder so we can make access to a roof if we cannot access the roof with ground ladders. Our back end guy, he will use a chainsaw or a K-12 saw and go on ahead and cut a hole in the roof to let toxic vapors, heat, and smoke release from the structure to make it tenable for the interior crews to attack the fire.
So your functions are special functions. Not everybody's trained in it, is kind of my interpretation of what you're saying, and also it is makes a safer environment for the firefighters that are actually on the inside. Is that correct?
Absolutely. At this time we have several team members that are trained. There's actually a whole training process that you have to go to be a part of the truck company crew, and we continue our education every year to stay proficient in our service.
And you said that there's only 4 of these trucks that have the Wichita Fire Department currently has?
Yes, ma'am. At this time, there's 4 trucks in the city, and they respond to any. We've got the city broke down into basically a map, and they respond to what quadrant that the fire would be in. If it's a building fire, we'll send actually 2 trucks to help.
And on the 2 trucks, when you send 2 trucks to a building fire, can you explain the reasoning behind that?
One truck may be involved with finding the fire for fire attack. The other truck will be in charge of ventilation and securing utilities such as gas, electric, and water.
So basically you tag team. So,
Absolutely.
On their duties to try to make it safer for the individuals, the firefighters that are on the interior.
We complement each other.
I understand also that while you're out fighting fires, that a lot of the fires that you encounter happen to be cooking fires. Jason, could you elaborate on why you think that we encounter a lot of cooking fires?
Absolutely. Statistics have shown that 66% of fires and fire injuries result in cooking fires. It could be anything from unattended equipment or malfunctioning equipment. And the use of oil and grease is a leading material that catches on fire when a cooking fire occurs.
And Lieutenant Diffenbaugh, is unattended cooking fire specific just to Wichita?
Yeah, last year, Wichita Fire Department has experienced over 158 cooking fires in our city with $450,000 worth of damage. And that's why we're here today to remind all cooks to stay close to the kitchen when they're cooking and never leave your stove unattended.
Jason, what can the majority of unattended cooking fires be attributed to?
Well, Chief, unattended cooking fires can be attributed to lack of focus on the task at hand. Sometimes when people cook, they tend to have other duties or chores that they get caught up with. Sometimes we have people that have actually fallen asleep while in the act of cooking, maybe making a pizza or something. They'll fall asleep and the pizza will burn up in the oven. There's many other reasons why cooking fires can occur, but for the majority of the time it's just unattended and not paying attention to the task at hand.
Lance, do you have some tips that people could use when they're in their kitchen to maybe prohibit unattended cooking fires?
Yes, I do. First and foremost, we want to make sure that you keep anything that's combustible away from the stove, such as oven mitts, wooden cooking utensils, the packaging, maybe the curtains in your kitchen. Keep everything away from the stove. Secondly, we want you to always stay in the kitchen when you're cooking, and sometimes if you have to, you can use a timer because that will also remind you that you're cooking and also when the food is done And lastly, and this is most important, don't ever use your stove, your burners, or your oven to ever heat your home because it causes carbon monoxide and it can kill people and pets.
And carbon monoxide, when you say don't use your stove as a heat source for your home, the carbon monoxide, is that something that I can smell and that way I know to get out, or?
No, it's actually something that you cannot smell, and it's going to attack your blood, and what's going to cause you to do is you're actually going to start getting sleepy, like what Jason was saying before, and then again it will cause you to have a fire, but it can also cause you to stop breathing.
Very interesting. Jason, can you tell me what, if a fire does occur in my home, what I should do?
Well, your initial reaction will be to try to put the fire out. Do not do that. Call 911. Immediately call 911. Don't hesitate. Time is of the essence. Do not fight the fire. Evacuate the home as quickly as you can. Make sure that if you have children, make sure you have your children out of the home. Go to a neighbor's house at a meeting place. If you have kids that may have already been out of the house, or you need to locate everybody in your home and have a meeting place outside your home. Never ever put water on a cooking fire. That will only worsen the situation. If you have a pot and you have, say, oil in the pot and it begins to smoke, turn the stove off, turn the heat off to the pot, and put a lid on over the pot. Call the fire department, call 911, and if you ever have a fire in your oven, turn the oven off and close the door.
Now you mentioned something about a meeting place. Is that something that we should have prearranged as a family, and also maybe identify some exit paths?
Yes. Each family should have a plan. Just like when you're at school or you're at work, you have fire drills. Those drills, you take specific action. You should do the same in your home. The Wichita Fire Department, we promote safety, and safety is creating an action plan if you do have a fire. Have multiple exits throughout your home. Have a meeting place that you can account for everybody in your home. If you have a fire and you can't account for everybody at the meeting place, do not re-enter the structure. Let the fire department or responding units know how many people are missing and where they could be in your home.
Thank you, Jason. Lance, I'm under the understanding that the Wichita Fire Department currently is doing a smoke alarm blitz. Can you tell me a little bit about that program?
Yes, Chief. We've started this smoke alarm blitz last year in October, and we're looking to help stop some of these fires that we're having in our city. The Wichita area business leaders and the fire department have teamed up with our fire prevention department, and they'll actually come out to your home and install a working smoke alarm in the correct location, either in your hall, your bedroom, or your kitchen.
And do I have to have any kind of requirements to get a smoke alarm, or can I just call the Wichita Fire Department? Are there any criteria that I have to meet?
The Wichita Fire Department has made it simple. All you have to do is call down to 455 North Main, ask for someone in the Fire Prevention Department at 268-4441, and they will take your name, your phone number, and your address, and they'll send a member out to your home and install this working smoke alarm.
Lance, do you know if someone just needs a battery, is it possible to get a battery for a smoke detector?
Absolutely. The Wichita Fire Department has also teamed up with a local battery company, and they will come out and install that battery for you if you're unable to do so. And we want to let the citizens know that this is completely free, and we will do whatever we can to keep you safe, because remember that we want you to stay aware, and fire prevention today is always better than a kitchen fire tomorrow.
I heard you said that there were no criteria, so I just want to emphasize that I want to make sure that I'm clear on the fact that there's no criteria. If I need a smoke detector, how do I go about getting one?
Absolutely, Chief. There's no criteria. If you want a working smoke detector in your smoke alarm in your home, all you have to do is call to 455, the Fire Prevention Department, at 268-4441, and we'll get a member out there and install this for you.
Jason, why would it be important that I have a smoke alarm in my house?
Smoke detectors save lives, Chief. Just having a smoke detector in your home isn't enough. Smoke detectors run off batteries. Every 3 months you should change the battery in your smoke detector and test it manually. If you do not have, if your smoke detectors malfunction, again, call 455 North Main, and fire prevention can set you up with a new smoke detector.
I don't think a majority of the public really realizes how fast a cooking fire can get out of hand. Lance, do you have any personal experiences that you could convey to the public in regards to how quick a kitchen fire can consume a house?
Yes, Chief. Engine 9 just recently made a call to a cooking fire where a lady was cooking some catfish on her stove. She stated that she left her oven unattended for only 1 minute, and it caught her cabinets on fire. By the time she got out of the house and called 911, it completely burnt down her entire kitchen.
That's amazing. So that in less than 1 minute, it does that type of damage. So it just goes to say that if you stop to answer the phone, if you need to tend to a child's needs or whatever, that the best practice then is to simply turn the stove off while you're not actually in the kitchen.
Absolutely. If you're not going to be in your kitchen, close to your stove, to your oven at all times, it's simply easy just to turn it off.
And not only turn the stove off, Chief, you would like to ideally remove the pot from the burner that you are using currently at that time. Remove the pot and put it on a cold part of the stove. That way the heat, the excessive heat from the burners or the coils, they cannot continue to heat the product in the pot.
So for a fire safety tip then, the moral of the story should be that we turn the burner off, we remove the pot to a cold area, and also make sure that we have a smoke detector.
But Chief, you're right, because that actually sounds simple, but all we're out here trying to do is to keep our citizens and our community safe. So be sure to call and get that working smoke detector going.
I'd like to thank both of you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Chief.
That concludes this episode of Burning Issues. Remember, Wichita firefighters are highly trained professionals who are your friends and neighbors. We are Wichita's bravest, and we serve you 24 hours a day, every day.